From the souls of slaves Harriet came, raised in cotton fields and shacks of shame, not taught to read or write, always kept in slavery's sight. As a child, her toys were things of work, not of joy. She had no playground. Her playmates were not around. They worked in the fields, picking cotton and doing others' wills. Harriet had no life, no liberty, no pursuit of happiness. There was not much food. Living was crude. Families of slaves were separated, and love became hatred. Harriet wanted to be free for years, because all she had was tears. She thought of running away, but where? Which way? She hated to see people so sad, because the slavers were very, very bad. God said, "Thou shalt not kill," but the slavers did this at will. So the price of freedom was high. You had to be willing to die. Many tried, many died. The fight for freedom was a hard one, but it was a fight that had to be won. Harriet's father was a freedom fighter too. He taught her what to do, how to live and survive in the woods or on the road, while traveling a secret passage known as the Underground Railroad. After a few months had passed, Harriet's journey to freedom began at last. Sitting near a low-burning fire, Harriet's father told slaves to believe in freedom's fire. Then he surprised them all and pulled out a map. "A map," he said, "to freedom." And then he put the map in Harriet's lap. He saw the light of freedom in Harriet's eyes, and as he gave her the map to see, he said, "Help set all slaves free." Harriet's father's love had made her strong. He taught her right from wrong, and he knew slavery was very, very wrong. Late one night, no one in sight, a scarf on her head, her dress made of patches and leftover thread, no shoes on her feet, with little to drink or eat, Harriet started her march to freedom. She gathered a few slaves and led them beyond the barking hounds by a secret way her father taught her, called the Underground. The Underground Railroad had many friends, God-fearing people who wanted to see slavery end. These whites risked their lives to help silence black children's freedom cries. Whites risking their lives for slaves, helping to end the ills of old ways. Slaves moved like cars on rails, following Harriet's trails. A human train, a freedom train, winding through hills and valleys, stopping only to rest and search for food in streets and alleys. In those days, luck depended on color of skin. Black, you lose; white, you win. Harriet knew slavery was unfair, but most people just did not care. With every breath, slavery was an endless death. The only way to freedom was escape, or slavery was your fate. From slave camp to slave camp, with long rifle and oil lamp, Harriet gathered slaves and led them away to the light of a better day. All night she led the people through the tall trees and grass. During the day they hid until the sun did pass. Then back on the freedom road with the young helping the old. If someone wanted to turn back, she would not hear of that. Harriet threatened to use her gun to stop anyone who would quit and run. Harriet led them past the powers of hate into the free states. There she had many a white friend who wanted to see slavery end. They helped to free more slaves, again helping to heal the ills of old ways. Time and time again, Harriet risked her life for freedom, to save the souls of God's kingdom. She kept getting more slaves to come and take the Underground Railroad to freedom. During one of her many trips, Araminta used a very smart trick. She had whites who wanted to help make things right pretend to be slave hunters gathering slaves in the night. This was so no one would notice their true purpose. Together they gathered slaves and started a long trip that would take days. Whites pretending to be slave hunters, blacks pretending to be captured slaves. They acted like it was a normal day as they quietly slipped away. The human railroad was not caught. They continued to march past unsuspecting eyes while traveling under God's blue skies. Free from chains, whips, and senseless death, to a new beginning they felt with every breath. Their plan worked well. No one could tell if they were free slaves or not. It was a good plot. Blacks and whites working together, trying to stop slavery forever. Different colors of skin, fighting slavery to win. Harriet was freeing slaves throughout the land with her courage and her plan. By her captors, she would always be sought, but she was just too smart to be caught. One trip was during the war between the states, and the lives of hundreds of slaves were at stake. This would be her greatest trip. Harriet would have to use every trick to beat the slave master's whip. Onward they marched, hand in hand, across the evil slaver's land. During the night, Harriet led her kinsmen on, through marshlands and forest, until the break of dawn. She fed them and clothed them with the help of friends who also wanted to see slavery end. Again, it was white and black hands together, trying to crush slavery forever. Again, hiding behind trees. Again, down dark streets. Again, at night, living in fright. Again, by day, mile after mile, making their way. Thousands of people seeking freedom from the evils of a slave kingdom. Again, Harriet had won. Again, a job well done. Again, she had beaten slavery. Harriet's truth will never die while people fight evil and lies. Harriet's freedom train will ride again and 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 again.